Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. Today we have a home arms and abs workout for you. You'll probably need some different weights throughout it, maybe a couple of pairs of dumbbells, maybe a couple of different kettlebells, depending on how strong you are. We've got 2 supersets for the arms, and then we're going to do some core work to help strengthen the abs and the rest of the core as well. So let's get started. Our first superset is hammer curls. So weight in each hand, palms are facing towards you. We're going to curl the weight as high up towards the shoulders as we can. Hammer curls into tricep press ups. So we'll come down to the floor after our hammer curls. Hands are narrow, and we're going to keep the elbows super close to the ribs as we lower down so we can really focus on the tricep as we extend those arms again. We have 2 sets. We're going to do 10 reps. So for the hammer curls, that's 10 reps on each arm. We're going to alternate them. And then for the tricep press ups, it's just 10 tricep press ups, keeping a nice steady tempo. For those, you can lower to the knees if you need to. And yeah, see how we get on. Let's grab hold of our weights. So we'll stand nice and tall. We're going to curl one way up towards us, and then same on the other side. So we want to keep them at a steady tempo. We want to remember to keep breathing. That's always important. And we're trying not to swing, so we're trying not to use momentum. We're focusing mainly on squeezing the muscles, bringing the weight as far up towards the shoulders as we feel we can. That's good. So once we've hit those 10 reps on each side, we'll pop our weights back down. We'll come down to the floor. So like I said, on the knees or toes, hands are about shoulder width apart. We're going to lie down, keeping the elbows close to the ribs. Then we press back up. We also want to keep that strong, straight line through the back. So we're lowering at the same speed. By that I mean hips and shoulders lower at the same speed, keeping that straight line. And then again, once we've done our 10, we can rest. I said those can be done on the knees if we need to, so we'd bring the knees to the floor and lower down, still keeping the elbows close. Or if we really need to, we can turn them into box push-ups. So a couple of different options there for your triceps. We've got another round of these. A little bit longer recovery before we go for set 2. Okay, let's take hold of our weights again. Let's go. Then 10 reps on each arm, alternating from side to side. And again, once we've done those 10, we come down to the floor. Hands again about shoulder width apart. Elbows stay really close to the ribs as we lower. And we press the hands into the floor to drive back up. Again, once we've done our 10, we can rest there. So that's our first superset done. We have a second one. And for this one, we've got 2 options for the triceps. Option 1, if you have a band available, we're going to use a band. But it's also, if you have somewhere that you can anchor it from. If you haven't got anywhere you can anchor your band, or if you haven't got access to a band, I will show you a different exercise. For the biceps, we have supinating curls this time. So palms start in. As we curl up, we're going to add in a little bit of a rotation the palm then faces the shoulder as we bring it up. And again, we're going to alternate from side to side. For our triceps, if we've got access to a band and somewhere we can loop it around high, we're going to do banded tricep pull down. So we start taking up quite high on the band, so we bring it under a little bit of tension, keeping the elbows close into the side, standing tall. We're going to then pull the band down, straightening the arms, squeezing the triceps, and bring it back up. If we haven't got access to that, we're going to go for an overhead extension instead. We'll take hold of a single weight, kettlebell, dumbbell, taking the weight as far behind you as you can, and try to extend the arms as much as possible, keeping the elbows narrow as we do. Don't let them flare out too much, otherwise we'll get more shoulder rather than tricep. Again, we're going to do 2 sets. We're going to do 10 reps of each move. So we'll take hold of our dumbbells for our supinating bicep curls. So stand tall, and we curl one hand up, rotating it as we come up, and then rotating it back as we come back down. That's good. And then once we've done our 10 on each hand, we'll pop those down, either going for our overhead extensions or into our banded tricep pull downs. If we're using the banded pull downs, try and resist the band on the way back up, keeping it slow. And once we've done 10, we can rest. We can always take hold higher up on the band if we're using it to get a little bit more tension on it, if it feels a little bit easy. And then, as I said, with the overhead extensions, keeping the elbows narrow as we take the weight as far behind us as we can. And then overhead again. So we have a little bit of recovery, and then we'll go back to our supinating bicep curls. Last set of each of these exercises. When I say this at home, you can do this anywhere that you have access to a band, dumbbells, body weight. Don't need a lot of work for this one. Don't need a lot of equipment even, I should have said. Maybe still hard work. Okay, we'll take hold of our weights. Let's go for those supinating curls again. And again, we keep it at a nice steady tempo, keeping that control, trying to keep the rest of the body stable. We're not using our momentum to lift the weight up. Again, we'll sit on 10 on each side. We'll pop those down and we'll go into our triceps. So we're trying to keep the elbows close on the banded pull downs, really focusing on that extension of the arms, squeezing into the back of it as we straighten them out. And once we've done our 10 reps of either our banded pull downs or our overhead extensions, we can rest. I'm just going to tidy up as I go. I'm going to pop these back. So done with the arm work. Next up, we're going to work our core. The first exercise we're going to go for today are some windmills. So we need a single weight for this one. It can be a dumbbell, it can be a kettlebell. Choice is yours. We're going to set up with the feet a little bit wider than hip width apart. And for the setup, whichever side you take the weight into to start with, we want the toes on that side in line with about the middle of the other foot. We're then going to take our weight into the air, and here we want to make sure we keep the shoulder nice and stable. And something that helps is to look up at your hand while we're doing this. Then the other hand we're going to place on the inside of the leg, and then we're going to come down, lower that bottom hand as far towards the floor as you can, keeping the shoulder nice and stable, pushing the hips slightly back as we do, so we get this work into our obliques. It's lowering as far as you feel you can, and then pushing back up. Don't worry about getting that hand completely to the floor if that feels too far. Just go as far as you can, and then come back up. Like I said, we want to keep the shoulder nice and stable. It's going to be working hard, and it's going to put some challenge through the core. We're going to do 6 reps on one side, and then we'd swap the feet over, set up, do the same thing, change the weight over, 6 reps on the other side. We'll take hold of our weight. So like I said, whichever side we're taking the weight into, that foot, the toes are in line with about the middle of the other foot. Hand comes onto the leg, and then we lower as far towards the floor as we can, pushing the hips slightly back as we do, and then we press back up. And like I said, we want to try and keep that shoulder nice and stable, so we pull the shoulder blade in, we keep it steady as we lift and we lower. Put your arms around, feeling this love tonight. Coming home, we're coming home now, facing the world as one. Put your arms around, feeling this love tonight. Then once we've done our 6 on that side, we bring our weight down. We swap the feet over, we swap the weight over. Then we do the same thing on the other side. So again, keeping the shoulder nice and stable, reaching as far down as you feel you can. Pushing the hips slightly back as we do. Again, once we've done our 6, we can pop our weight down and we can rest. So if it's your first time doing those, don't need a particularly heavy weight at all. So challenging to keep the shoulder nice and stable. Like I said, that's going to put real work through our obliques, also through some of the other core muscles. Stabilizing, also great for shoulder stabilization, shoulder strengthening. You're all doing awesome work. We got a bit of recovery time. Before we go again. And again, this is our last round of these, only doing 2 sets. We have one more exercise. Okay, set 2. So we go back to our first side, feet comfortable distance apart. We're taking that weight up in the air. We're drawing the shoulder back, we're keeping it nice and stable. Then we lower as far as we feel we can, pushing the hips slightly back as we do, and then driving back up. And like I said, if we look up at the hand, it helps keep it more stable, because then we have an idea what's going on up there. Once we've done 6, we'll bring it down. We did the same thing on the other side. So we swap the feet over, we swap the weight over. Again, we draw the shoulder back. And then once we've done 6 on that side, we can bring the weight down. We have a bit of a rest. So we have one more exercise. And for this, we're going to do some active planks. So you get to come down to the floor. But don't start yet, because we have 2 options. So to start with, we're going to set up with the elbows underneath the shoulders and the forearms are down on the floor. Option 1, I'm going to say lift. When we lift, we want to think about drawing the abs in towards us as we push the forearms into the ground and we lift the hips. So we draw the abs in, we squeeze the glutes, lifting the hips. We're going to hold for a few seconds and then I'll say we can lower, where we'll lower back to the floor. If it feels okay on the knees and you'd like a little bit more, we can lift the knees, but same thing, we draw the abs in and we squeeze the glutes. We're trying to stay as level as possible. We draw those abs in, creating a little bit of flexion through the back of the body. So we're really working those ab muscles every time we lift. And we lift and hold. Remember to breathe every time we hold. And we're not going to hold them for too long. Like somewhere between 3 to 5 seconds every time we lift. We're going to do 10, then we'll have a rest, and then we'll do a second round of 10. Okay, so we'll set up. Those elbows are under the shoulders, and then you decide whether you want to be on the knees or toes. So we're going to lift for that first one, so we draw the abs in, we lift the hips, we draw the forearms or push the forearms into the floor, and then we can lower back down. We're going to go again, so we lift. So every time really think about trying to draw the abs in towards you, and we'll lower back down. And we'll lift again. And remember to keep breathing as well. And we'll lower. We'll lift. And we'll lower. We'll lift again. And we'll lower back down. It's halfway through the set. We'll go again. And we'll lower. We'll lift again. Lower back down. Lift again. And we'll lower. We've got 2 to go. We'll lift again. And we'll lower. 1 more. Lift and hold. And we can lower. If you feel you want a little release, just push your hips towards your heels, release the arms out in front of you, maybe sinking into the floor. We've got 1 more round of these. Bit of recovery time first, and then our last bit of work. Okay, about 10 seconds, and then we'll go for our last set. So we'll come back down, elbows under shoulders, and then we'll either be on the knees or toes, and we'll lift for that first one. So again, we want to draw the abs in, squeeze the glutes, remember to breathe, and we'll lower back down. Let's go again.
You got a lot of nerve, you got a lot of patience.
And we'll lower. That's good. We'll go again. So really draw those abs in. Remember to keep breathing. Lower back down. We'll go again. And we'll lower. Lift again. And we can lower. We'll go again. And we'll lower. We'll lift. And we can lower. Let's lift again. And back down. We've got 2 to go. We'll lift. And we'll lower. Last one. We'll lift. And we can relax. And there we have it. Done with this workout. So I hope you enjoyed that workout. If you did, please remember to like the video. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel as well, please subscribe to our channel for more workouts like this. Look through some of the previous ones we've done. A recommendation is going to come up here in the corner somewhere. Maybe check that one out. If you did enjoy the workout as well, please share it with your friends and family. That's really cool as well. Help a lot more people that way. And yeah, I hope you all have a great rest of your day, rest of your week. Take care, and I'll see you all very, very soon.